The next part of the factory was different from the noisy, chaotic sections Geronimo had just walked through. The automation department, where robots and remote-controlled forklifts dominated, felt almost eerie in its efficiency. Here, machines operated in near silence, performing tasks that once required several workers. The area smelled of steel, lubricant, and cold, sterile technology. Geronimo walked through, his eyes on the machines, robotic arms that welded steel with precision, automated forklifts that maneuvered flawlessly around tight corners, handling materials as if they were part of a futuristic ballet. The workers who monitored these machines stood off to the side, almost like spectators at an event. 3 workers stood nearby, talking in low voices as they watched the robots in action. The conversation caught Geronimo's ear. They worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no bathroom breaks, no lunch breaks, no holidays. One of the men, a younger worker, said bitterly, and they sure as hell don't ask for raises or pensions. His friend, an older man with salt and pepper hair, snorted in agreement. That's how the company sees efficiency. Shit, they're just replacing all of us. The third man, a lanky worker with a serious expression, added, even if we sign a new contract, half our jobs will be gone in 5 years. The writing's on the wall. Geronimo stopped to listen, feeling a sense of dread creeping into his bones. He knew these men were right. The machines that now surrounded them were the future, one that didn't include many of the people who had kept this factory alive for decades. The first worker shook his head in disgust. I saw a video the other day of a factory that's fully automated, no workers at all. We're looking at the end of the line here. The next 10 to 20 years, the older man muttered, it's gonna be rough. The old way of earning a living is gone. They all stood in silence for a moment, watching the machines move with perfect precision. Finally, one of them spoke again, his voice hard with conviction. HVAC, engineers, electricians, those jobs will stick around. But us, we're the ones getting screwed. The youngest worker nodded. We've got families. We've got to learn this stuff, or we're going to be messed up. We can't afford to have another generation of unskilled workers. Geronimo felt their frustration, and it mirrored his own. The conversations happening in the factory all seemed to come back to the same truth. The world was changing, and no one knew what the future held for the people in this room. As he moved past them, he caught a few final words from them. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, he said, the words sounding almost like a mantra. We need to learn something new every year just to keep up. I hear you. Another worker spoke. Lastly, a lone worker stared in silence. Then he uttered these parting words slowly. I'll knock all this shit over. All this shit. Man, fuck automation. They all laughed. Geronimo's thoughts were spinning. He was the bridge between these men and the future, whether that future meant more work or less. The weight of that responsibility sat heavy on his chest as he moved toward his next destination in the factory.